I recently appeared before the Senate Economics Reference Committee in their inquiry into the post-GFC banking sector. This is the third parliamentary inquiry we've appeared before in the last 3 or 4 years, and what we've been doing is trying to get the government to consider aspects of the Canadian model which would improve competition in the Australian mortgage market. In the first inquiry in 2008, we were disappointed that the committee then didn't really take much notice of our submissions, but we were gratified that in 2010 the inquiry did make some recommendations to Treasury to have a look at the Canadian system and see how it could be applied to Australia. Unfortunately, that recommendation wasn't taken up. So now in 2012, we are thankful that the committee on this occasion does seem much more interested in what we've been putting to them. We've spent a lot of time looking at the Canadian system. We've been over there a couple of times. We've compared what's happening there with what's happening in Australia. And it seems to us that a Canadian model could work in Australia. It has the benefits of providing potentially lower interest rates. Because it's government guaranteed, it's AAA rated, and therefore it is attractive to investors, so it's a bonus for investors. It's also a bonus for the government because the government in Canada makes a surplus on its operations in that. But the key thing, it's good for consumers in Australia. If it's adopted here, it will bring more competition for them to have good choice from and potentially lower interest rates than otherwise would be the case. On this occasion, the Senate committee seems to be much more favourable on our proposal to look at the Canadian model. And I think the reason is that they're much more focused on the need for more competitively priced funds in the Australian mortgage market. And that will help consumers, it will help the non-bank sector to grow, and it really will be good for the whole system. There are a lot more details about the Canadian mortgage bond system, which members can access by looking at the transcript of my testimony before the Senate committee. I urge you to do that if you're interested in understanding more. The next step is that the committee will file its report with the government by the end of October. Now, whilst we're very excited about the reception we've received, we're also realistic. There's no requirement for the government to accept the committee's recommendations, so we are continuing to lobby politicians from all sides of politics to engage their support for what we're trying to do to improve competition and access to funds in the mortgage sector in Australia.